Hi there, I'm Saf Aslam, President of Georgia Tech Able Alliance, our school's disability advocacy organization. Today, I'm going to be walking you through a day in the life at Georgia Tech for somebody with a disability, and more specifically, some of the problems that are encountered throughout campus. When rolling around on campus in a wheelchair, a small crack or pothole is much more dangerous than you realize, as it could cause your wheelchair to jerk, jostle, or even fall over. If you're rolling around and come across an area where the sidewalk is incredibly broken up, it's not a good idea to go any further. If you're going up to a small hill or ramp, depending on how steep it is, it may be impossible for your wheelchair to go up it at all, even if somebody who could walk would never look at it twice. It can mean that entire areas of campus end up completely off limits to you, isolating you to only the areas you know and forcing you to fear the areas you don't. If you're able to avoid the cracks, then you may run into another issue. E-scooters have become more prevalent than ever on our campus and provide a fast and easy way to get from point A to point B. However, this causes a few different problems, one of which is e-scooter littering. If someone is done with their e-scooter and it's a rental and they leave it out on the sidewalk, it becomes impossible to get around without somebody else having to move it for you, essentially cutting off the way forward. Now, for the sake of this video, we've moved some of the e-scooters to help demonstrate this problem. However, as proof that it exists, here are a few of my personal favorite examples of e-scooter littering, some of which look more like modern art at this point.
Rambling around your city.
Another unfortunate issue is the sheer amount of ADA push-to-open buttons, which are simply placed out of reach for somebody in a wheelchair. Now, for most of these, my inability to extend my arm fully, coupled with my short stature, is the reason why I can't push any of these buttons. Some of them, however, are a little bit more out there. At Georgia Tech, there's often a lack of accessible places to comfortably sit in a wheelchair throughout campus. This is because the tables are too low, too high, or just have so much weird stuff beneath them that it makes it impossible for a wheelchair to fit under. This can lead to students in wheelchairs only being able to access a small selection of the tables around campus, leading to isolation as they can't sit where everybody else sits. It also means that many of the resources like office hours, subject labs become off limits, as there's nowhere to properly sit and do your work. There have been many times where I've had to sit alone in my dorm room since I couldn't find a place to sit in any of the common areas. I could go on, and this isn't even the full list that I'd prepared. But this video isn't about searching for problems, it's about finding their solutions. At Able Alliance, we've been making small but important steps across campus to try and solve some of these issues one by one. We worked with the fire department to fix a giant chunk of missing sidewalk on the way to CM Chicken and Pizza Hut, replacing the sidewalk where someone had destroyed it to repair a water main and never bothered to put it back. We worked with Culk Facilities to unlock the door which led to the ADA ramp for both of the Culk first-floor auditoriums, which could previously only be accessed if you'd been given buzzcard clearance. We also ensured that the signage would be changed, making it clear that there was a ramp there for anybody who may not have known in the first place. We've reached out to multiple levels of campus administration over the past 2 years, giving presentations and preparing various informational materials on these topics and proposed solutions for each of them. These are only some of the things we've done, but there's still a lot to do. And that's where we need you. Everything I've listed off and described in painful detail is something that can be fixed. It's tangible, not an ideal or something we'll be unable to reach, but a clear, definite piece of progress which we can define and achieve. More importantly, it's something that improves all of campus in one way or another, not just for students with disabilities, but for all Yellow Jackets, present and future, by making these problems a thing of the past. So, if you're interested in joining Able Alliance or just learning a little bit more about us, You can find our GroupMe on our official organizations page in the GT Engage platform. There, you'll be able to ask any questions, reach out to our officers, and stay up to date on upcoming events and how to help us moving forward. Our goal at Able Alliance will be to fix these problems so that in 10 or 15 years, students can come here and never even realize that there was something wrong to begin with. With your help, I know we can accomplish that. I'm looking forward to working with you soon and making Georgia Tech a more accessible place for all. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you around.